Welcome back to TIFF Software Lab. In this video, we will continue our journey into the world of JavaScript. This is part 2, where we'll dive deeper into the fundamentals of JavaScript and learn about complex scripts that reside in separate files. So sit back, grab a cup of coffee, and let's get S.
This part of the tutorial is about core JavaScript, the language itself. The browser is a good choice for a working environment to run scripts, but the focus will be on JavaScript itself instead of browser-specific commands. The tutorial will keep the use of browser-specific commands to a minimum. The script tag. JavaScript programs can be inserted into an HTML document using the less than script greater than tag. The tag contains JavaScript code which is automatically executed when the browser processes the tag. The type and language attributes are not required in modern HTML standards. External scripts. A lot of JavaScript code can be put into a separate file and attached to the HTML using the S or C attribute. The benefit of using a separate file is that the browser will download it once and store it in its cache, reducing traffic and making pages faster. If the S or C attribute is set, the script content inside the tag will be ignored. Modern markup. The less than script greater than tag has a few attributes that are rarely used nowadays but can still be found in old code. The type attribute used to be required in HTML4, but it is not required anymore and has changed meaning in modern HTML standards. The language attribute was meant to show the language of the script, but it no longer makes sense since JavaScript is the default language. Comments before and after scripts. In old books and guides, comments inside the less than script greater than tag can be found, but this trick is not used in modern JavaScript. These comments hide JavaScript code from old browsers that didn't know how to process the less than script greater than tag. Summary. We can use the less than script greater than tag to add JavaScript code to a page. External files can be attached to HTML using the S or C attribute. The type and language attributes are not required in modern HTML standards. It's important to note that only the simplest scripts are put into HTML, with more complex scripts residing in separate files.
Welcome back to TIFF Software Lab. In this video, we'll dive deep into one of the most important concepts in JavaScript, variables.
A variable is simply a named container for storing a value. In JavaScript, we can store values of different data types such as numbers, strings, arrays, objects, and more. Declaring a variable in JavaScript is as simple as using the var or let keyword followed by the variable name. For example, in the above example, my variable is the name of the variable and the string value. This is a string value is stored inside it. It's important to note that the var keyword has function scope, while let and const have block scope. This means that variables declared with var can be accessed within the entire function, while let and const can only be accessed within the block they were declared in. Now let's talk about the difference between let and const. Let allows us to reassign a new value to the variable, while const does not. Const is used for declaring variables that cannot be reassigned. For example, the example mentioned is showing how to declare a constant variable in JavaScript. The constant variable has a name myVariable, and its value cannot be changed once it's assigned. Attempting to reassign the value of a constant variable will result in an error message, as the const keyword is used to declare variables that are meant to be constant and unchanging. When declaring variables in JavaScript, it's important to choose the appropriate keyword based on your intended use. Now that we've covered the basics of declaring variables in JavaScript, let's talk about the different data types that can be stored in variables. In JavaScript, there are 7 primitive data types: number, string, boolean, null, undefined, bigint, symbol. In addition to these primitive data types, we also have two non-primitive data types: objects and arrays. Primitive data types are simple values, while objects and arrays are more complex data structures that can store multiple values and properties. In this video, we've covered the basics of variables in JavaScript. We've discussed the difference between var, let, and const, and the different data types that can be stored in variables. Stay tuned for more tutorials on TIFF Software Lab. where we'll dive even deeper into the world of JavaScript. Congratulations on taking the first step towards your programming journey. In the next part of your journey, you will learn the basics of using variables in your code. Get ready to unleash the power of programming and turn your ideas into reality.
Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets. Live with every breath, see my message start to spread. And I had so many dreams, then you hit your teens. Life ain't really what it seems, try to find out what it means. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah.
Welcome back. It's great to see you continuing your journey of learning JavaScript. In this part of the tutorial, we will learn how to declare and assign values to variables in JavaScript. So, let's dive into the world of variables in JavaScript. First, let's see what a variable is and how it's identified. In simple terms, a variable is a placeholder or a box for a value. A value in JavaScript can be either a primitive or an object. The variable has a name, which stricter is called identifier. Examples of variable identifiers are minimer, name, list, item. The syntax of an identifier is pretty simple. An identifier can contain letters, digits 0, 0.9, and special symbols $, underscore. An identifier cannot start with a digit 0.9. Examples of valid identifiers are minimer, my underscore number, list1, $item, underscore name, b, $, underscore. Examples of invalid identifiers are one number incorrectly starts with the digit 1, my number. The symbol does not allow in an identifier function. The identifier cannot be a keyword. Finally, JavaScript identifiers are case sensitive. For example, the identifiers minimer and minimer are different, because the letter in has different cases in the identifiers in versus in. Having that, now let's see the three ways you can declare variables in JavaScript: const, let, and var statements. 2. Const variables. 2.1 Const declaration and initialization. Here's how you can declare a const variable with the identifier. MyConst variable. The variable MyConst variable is initialized right away with an initial value, which can be any expression that evaluates to a value. Examples of initial values are literals numbers 1, strings my initial value, other variables, function calls. For example, the statement declares a const variable with the identifier hero initialized with the string literal Ironman. What's also specific to const variables, contrary to let and var variables described below, is that you have to assign the initial value after the declaration and initialization. You can access the variable value just by using its name, aka identifier. What distinguishes const variables from let and var is that you cannot assign a new value to a const variable. This code creates a constant variable named hero and assigns it the value of the string Ironman. The first console.log statement simply logs the value of the hero constant to the console. So, the output will be Ironman. The second console.log statement uses template literals, the backticks, to embed the value of the hero constant inside the string. The expression $hero is a placeholder for the value of the hero constant, which gets replaced at runtime. So, the output of the second console.log statement will be hello, Ironman. What distinguishes const variables from let and var is that you cannot assign a new value to a const variable. The code block and a function body create a scope for const variables. The concept of scope defines the limits where the variable is accessible. In the example below, hero variable is declared within the scope of the if conditional block. Thus, you can access hero only within that block, but not outside. Same way hero is declared inside the scope of the greet ironman function. On top of that, you can also access the const variable value only after the declaration statement, but not before. From the usage perspective, you should use const variables as read only that you don't plan to reassign. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this information helpful. In our next video, we'll continue to learn about variables in JavaScript and dive deeper into this exciting topic. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. See you in the next video.